Yeah, but
Yo,
I mean,
why is toxic sex better though?
Somebody else up on Facebook.
Nobody ever like really tried to get into the psychologically cycle something of that, because why is sex with a good person so bad? Like,
I feel attacked.
I didn't even make eye contact. I kept my head down. I didn't even look at you. But I just always want to know, like, why is it so boring? Why does sex?
Because there's no care involved.
What do you mean there's no? What do you mean there's no care involved?
Yeah.
What do you mean with who?
Okay, so
I'm drinking my
you're with
wine.
somebody, right? You're in a relationship, right?
Okay.
So you would find that you would have consideration for the person when you engage in them in any form of activity.
Right.
They would indicate to you if they want you to go any further or whatnot and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. With a person that you don't give a crap about, that same toxic person, you do whatever the heck you want.
No, Glenn, I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding. I don't understand.
You don't understand?
I get it.
No, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Okay.
I don't get it.
Let me put it in a different context. You would have in your relationship, you would want to try different things. You would want to be experimental. You may want to try a little extra freaky stuff. You may hold back because you figured, maybe they may not be into it. You would dance around the topic because you don't want to hurt their feelings or frighten them,
It's
right?
almost like you don't want the person to have the wrong impression of you because you do this outlandish thing.
And you care about them.
Yeah.
You would ask permission to do certain things and whatnot. Now, with the toxic person, there's
They
none of
don't
that.
care. Excitement.
There's none of that. It's full 100.
Yeah.
Girl, you get them and you go take them. And if you don't like them, go about your damn.
But no, my thing is, why is it that? So that's the reason why all of us just go so insane, because you never realize that you go more crazy over the side piece than the main piece.
Because there's no limitations. You do what you want. And there's no investment either, because that person can leave if they want. You don't care either way. They can leave.
No, I don't think
You don't get
so.
it?
I'm not getting it because my outlook on this is so different. I don't understand it.
Well,
Maybe Night can give a
Go ahead, Night.
perspective.
okay, for me, toxic sex comes from people who actually do care about each other, and it's just a situation where that as much as they care about each other, as much as they are together,
What are you talking
there
about?
always seems to be some kind of problem where they argue. They argue, but they don't argue to win. They don't argue, okay, they right fight. They don't argue to understand, they argue to win, right? So when they argue to win now, it just builds up and a lot of nasty things are thrown back and forth between each other. But there's this one constant though. They still turn each other on.
Yes.
Still turn each other
I
on.
get you now.
They still turn each other on. They don't agree. They don't even like to argue, because when they argue, a lot of things from 20 years and stuff. are gonna
Sometimes
be
they don't
pulled
even
back.
understand
They don't
that
even
they are being
understand
toxic
that
to
they're
each
being
other.
toxic. There's just the fact that they love each other, but then it's like they're not right for each other, right? But then they're not gonna break up, because why would you break up, right? So because it's not like a settling situation. They're in love with each other, everything is going fine, but just that argument part. So everything is fine. The conversations are good, right? The social cues and the PDA and all that is still very, very, very fresh. They have the semblance and the mannerisms of a totally perfect couple, but it's just the argument part. The argument part
It's
gets
more than that,
nasty.
actually. It's more than just the argument, because they would have particular attributes about themselves that is having a negative impact on the other person or themselves. It's destructive.
Right.
But they're not conscious of it, or they're purposefully ignoring it. And so it's creating this very turbulent...
It's volatile. It's
Yeah.
volatile, but the one constant is they still turn each other on. And it seems to me like when they argue now, and because it's such raw emotions being thrown about, you get them, I like your head. Boy, your head big, big, big. By the way, what you do right now, and even what you do right now situation, how you find yourself
or
Both
they're
of y'all-
actually
Both of
fighting.
y'all naked from the waist
They're
down.
actually fighting,
Not fighting. It
and
doesn't
then
have to be
no.
physical.
Sometimes
Or
they're actually fighting, and then they start
then-
becoming
Yeah.
aroused.
It's like-
Yeah,
and
like
things happen.
why does that happen? Like that is just so
Emotions
intense.
run high.
It's so intense. Like you can't ever find that with a main piece. Something about it.
But I was coming from it from the perspective of persons who are aware that they don't mesh. You know.
I'm coming from
So
a different
you
perspective.
might be in a relationship with a person, you all call it quits. You find that you and the person just don't connect in any sort of way whatsoever, except for the fact that your sexual encounters are always lit.